Back to the question about civility, about respect for the rules of the game, about having a mature conversation about the issues and being respectful of one another. Both sides have been guilty of, making insulting comments.
I beg to differ.
Insinuations.
No, I beg to differ. I'm sorry to cut him this time. See,
you don't think both sides have been insulted?
You see, let's be very sincere. If a man that is in the saddle of leadership, that is presiding over our collective patrimony, that our taxpayers' money determine their day-to-day running, even to their feeding and for their and equally their medication, can condescend so low by insulting taxpayers by way of opposition, and you're not telling. So far, so good. We must give it to the opposition in this country that they have adopted kind of civility. If they have gone the way of those in saddle of leadership, in terms of in the national, even in some states, perhaps this country, as we speak very just now, would have been chaos. To some extent, at least you give it to the opposition party.
Just the ruling party is the aggressor.
Yeah.
You think the ruling party is the aggressor?
From the way the FCT minister have been insulting grandfathers, fathers, even Peter Odili and the rest, insulting Bode George and the likes. Insulting grandfathers.
Interestingly,
what do you make of it?
Interesting.
So far, no, I'm coming, my friend. You are a journalist.
I'm member of the PDP.
I'm sorry.
The FCT minister is still a member of the PDP.
Let's be very sincere.
Isn't that the truth, though?
It is unfortunate that we are not ready to tell ourselves the truth. A spade is a spade. It's never a garden fork. They might look like alike, but it is a spade. It's never a garden fork. So far, I must be very frank with you. Let me try to put political association aside. So far, so good. You must give it to the opposition. That they have adopted some kind of civility. The African men of comportment. You can see opposition all over the world. They speak fire. Those in saddle of leadership try to quell and see a way they can pacify them. But in the other way, they are the one acting as if they are in opposition. At any rate, they never prepare for governance because it was more or less a pressure group, a militia group. If you go back to the evolution of APC,
you see words like that, militia group. How is that civil? How is that respectful?
That is the gospel truth. How
is a regulated political party a militia group? Explain that to me. Because you're saying the APC is a militia group.
A situation where, for instance, I want to have having a group and I want to have a meeting, and you send in men that our taxpayers' money, we pay their salary to condole off, to seal off that. What do you call that?
Are you referring to the
PDP? What do you call that?
Are you referring to the PDP NEC meeting?
Definitely.
But didn't you hear the clarification from the Governors Forum, from the PDP leadership?
See, even
that they asked for that security because they didn't want the secretariat to be overrun.
Even the issue of revoking their as a result of the ground rent or land rent, is that the way to do things in this day and time? Let's be very sincere. Perhaps you must have heard what happened in Edo not too long ago, as a result of them coming up with to fight courtesan and other related activities. They started by intimidating and oppressing frontliners of PDP, sealing off their hotels, marking their houses for demolition. And I said it in some other platforms that the way that is going is doomed to fail. And what do we have today? In the last week, 7 days or 6 days in Edo, you can call some of your friends that live in Edo State. Perhaps they will give you a very unbiased picture of what is happening in Edo. It's doomed to fail. Because we are so fervent about the destination, not knowing that there's a process that will take you to that destination. There's a journey. What defines that journey, that destination? It is the journey. When the journey is faulty, there's no way you will get anything meaningful out of it.
It's so hard to argue against the fact, the very obvious of what this Trust TV political analyst said, that APC was never prepared for governance. And he also said that APC acts like a militia group, or APC is a militia group. And when you look at the operation and the way and manner with which the ruling party has gone about, managing Nigeria for the last 10 years, it is really hard to argue against that sort of assertion. Even in the poorest state of the PDP, when Nigerians didn't want PDP, the PDP never stopped political party registration or maybe try to infiltrate the other political party and destroy them from within. No, they lured other politicians in, but not to say go and destroy your political party for us. Do you understand? Obviously, with their pride. But what APC has done in Nigeria, for example, if you take the 2023 election, you find out that in many states, especially, let's take Lagos as an example, you find that what the level of political intimidation that came up and happened during the 2023 election, especially after the presidential election happened and the governorship election happened, you realize that when they were doing the state elections, you can see the amount of intimidation that went into place, especially with that guy called MC Oluomo. You can see what he did, using political and ethnic and bigoted words to try to intimidate other people. And there were even proclamations to say, if you're not going to vote for the APC, don't come out to vote. They were checking people's voters' card and seeing their names. If they don't look like Yoruba names, they sort of stop them from voting. Even though the local chiefs and obas brought masquerades out to intimidate people from voting on behalf of the APC, which was appalling. So when you look at all of these, precedents set by this APC, you realize that it is hard for you to discredit what this political analyst said, because it becomes one of leadership or rulership by force, where you must insert and force yourself on others. That's why the man is saying that APC was never prepared for governance. At least the very least here is that to say that Bola Tinubu was never prepared for governance. A lot of people have said that. Now, when he came in, Bola Tinubu, it was already ready for 2027. That's why they went into early swing mode of electioneering rather than governance in this 2025 by forcing people to decamp. So you have to also understand that when you look at all the things that have set out or that have been played out already so far, you'll realize that it is hard to discredit what this man is saying. It is very, very hard. Take another example. The next meeting by the PDP, you see the way they sealed up their building where they wanted to have the meeting. They stopped them from having the meeting. They put police force to stop them from having their meeting. Who does that? That's intimidation, because you don't want that to happen. You just want them to continue to destroy them and use government forces to actually stop them from having their meeting. And remember the words of Bode George. He cautioned even Wike and told him, this is politics. Let us have our own room so we can do our own stuff. And you can hear so far as how Wike has actually insulted everybody that he could insult, including those people that helped him to become even a politician that he is today. So that's on one hand. On the other one, when the ADC wanted to converge and then announce their, coming together to the nation, you see what they did? They had to park their vehicle far away to get to the center where they needed to have their meeting, because they didn't want the APC to go stop them, and that's how they beat the APC in their own games. So when you look at all of these things, don't say, oh, it's just political strategy. ADC would have done the same. No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not the way politics is played or governance is carried out anywhere around the world. Even the country where the president goes to have his medical checkup, Bola Tinubu, I mean. If he goes to France, opposition has free will to run their meetings, hire a place they need to use, and nobody stops them. People come out to vote. Nobody stopped them from going to vote or telling them that if their names do not look like a certain name, they're not allowed to vote, or they must vote for a certain individual or certain political party, or that the local monarchs in those cities will stop people from actually, by bringing out a masquerade to intimidate, for example, women from coming out to vote. So when you look at the operation of the APC, it is so hard and very difficult for you to say that the operation is not one that looks like a militia group. We're not talking about just the infiltration of other political parties. We're talking about the gross intimidation. You understand? Using state infrastructure to suppress those other people and even votes, and suppress people from even registering a political party for as much as they've denied it. But we know that the way the APC has functioned so far, they're in collusion with the INEC. And then INEC will do everything to make sure that APC remains in power, as long as we still have the same chairman who conducted the 2023 election. An aberration on Nigerians anyway. Another one is the Edo State system as well, where you use the government to clamp down on PDP and dissenting voices, and then you use the same thing to say you're fighting causes and destroying homes and cordoning people's homes. In the same society, it doesn't matter the crime they commit. I know they're trying to dissuade criminals from being in the state, but when you destroy somebody's property, you will pay for it, regardless of the crime they've committed. So the way and manner things are conducted in our country, it is not normal. And it's funny what we allow abnormalcy and we think is okay. The abnormalcy of this government, or what we found out within the APC, and the way they've taken Nigeria, actually, if you don't realize, by the time Bola Tinubu is done, it's not that they would set Nigeria back 16 years by what Buhari did. They would have set Nigeria back by about 24 years. Except somebody of competence can come up and speed up the process to get Nigeria back on track, because Nigeria has literally lost ground under this particular government and the previous government of Buhari as well. That's what I think. I don't know what you think, if you agree with what this man says, but put your thoughts, your comments in the comment section. Let's have a chat. Let's have a deliberation. Do you agree that APC was never ready for governance? Do you agree that APC is acting like a militia group? Do you agree with him when he said that the APC is the one causing the trouble within the country? Or do you say, no, it's not? The opposition are also at fault as well. What is your take? Put your thought in the comment section. Let's have our conversation about this. And also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Above all, recommend this channel to others. We need to get to more Nigerians. So first, to let Nigerians understand, we deserve better governance and leadership, not the one that we're currently given by a political class that don't care about the state of our nation. Also, I'll catch you up in the next video. Bye bye for now.